The kit comes with everything that's necessary to do it. Heli-Coil, the tap, and the installer. So it's a complete kit. Then it has instructions. You don't have to learn how to read. You just
look at the picture.
Look at the pictures. I mean, you know.
Hey YouTube, it's Faye with Danny at Hill Country Performance and Machine. And today I'm going to show you that even professionals can make mistakes, stupid mistakes. And so I've hired another professional to fix an error. So today's video is going to be about how to properly do a Heli-Coil, how to properly do thread repair. I did one on my head after I stripped a bolt, and I messed it up, and Danny noticed, of course. So we're going to talk about how to fix my mistake. Here goes.
There's nothing wrong with the way you installed it. I hadn't even checked the angle or anything like that. But the most common mistake is everybody wants to put the Heli-Coil flush with the top. Well, when you put it flush with the top and you start tightening your bolt up, that's what happens. It lifts up. When you put your manifold back on, it's going to keep the gasket from sealing.
Yes.
And so what we want to do, which we're going to show, we want the coil to be one thread underneath the top. It makes kind of no sense because you want as many threads as you can. But if you have one coil underneath the last thread, it can't get pulled up.
Right.
So you've locked it in place, and it's going to work fine, and you can use it over and over again and not have problems. So if you make it flush, that's what's going to happen. It's going to come up like that. Now what could we do at this point? We could take a Dremel, which I've done many times, and cut a little slot right there, break that off, and we're done. We don't have to replace it. Or we can pull it completely out and just put it in right. We could do a Heli-Coil. We could also do a steel insert.
Okay, yeah, because there's what? Time insert. There's so many different types. And do you have a preference?
Yes. Heli-Coil. Heli-Coil, because if you screw up a Heli-Coil, you can put a time insert. If you screw up a time insert, you're done. They have an oversized time insert, but it's so invasive. I like the word invasive.
Exactly.
So I use the time insert when a Heli-Coil has already been used by somebody. It's been cut crooked. Now I have to fix that. So I don't go to a time insert right off the bat because you're already going on right off the bat to putting the biggest insert in there. Now, the neat thing about a time insert, it's a steel insert, so you don't have any threads. Everybody complains about, oh, Heli-Coils, they get pulled out, I can't torque, blah, blah, blah. That's what happens. They get pulled out when you don't put them in underneath the deck. That's another neat thing about Heli-Coils. They're replaceable. We just got rid of it and it hadn't hurt anything. We still have our threads. Also, a lot of times I'll put one in there and it'll be too short. I'll pull it out and my next one, I'll cut one link off of it.
Okay.
Or I'll come in on the top with a Dremel, cut a slot and bend it off. So I can see I can probably get one more thread or two in there. If you look in there, you could have drilled just a hair more, but let's do you want to drill this one. If it's in a car or not in the car, you want to get it pretty straight. I have a machine. We go put it on the machine. We zero it and we cut it. That's no cool for you watching it because you don't have a machine.
Yep.
But at your home, how could you do it? You could do it this way. You could do it with a block of wood. You don't need anything. This is an old oil pump. If you have a drill press, a cheap drill press, and you put this in a drill press, drill a hole in the center of it, and let that be your guide. Now you put this on the head and you just hold it and you drill right through it. You're not going to drill it crooked. So here I have a 1, 2, 3 block, and it's a perfectly machined block with all different kind of holes in it. So I can actually, and it's actually a machinist block, and it's perfect. You can measure this in any shape, size, but look at this. So we can actually sit here and just drill right through it. Like I said, we can put it on the machine and get it done, but this is neater because you see how you do it. It tells you here what drill bit to use. I'll get a drill bit and I'll actually put it in all my Heli-Coil kits. So I'll just leave it in there. The most common mistake, you use the wrong drill bit and then you thread it and you don't have the fit that it needs and the Heli-Coil is loose. And then it strips Heli-Coils. So the common mistakes of Heli-Coils aren't the Heli-Coil part. It's an excellent product. We use them you can use them in a cylinder head. So they hold the torque just fine. That's the thing. You want to make sure the hole is the right size. So get the proper drill bit. 1330 seconds is what we're going to use for this particular one. Okay. That's it. And I went all the way down to the bottom of it, so we have some depth. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can't go ahead and do something about this one while we're here. And you may have not seen, these aren't dry. Anytime you do any machine work, anything, drilling a hole, threading something on aluminum, use a lubricant. Doesn't matter what you use, any brand lubricant, even 30 weight oil. But don't do it dry because you'll gall it, it'll stick. So if you try to tap this, it'll just stick to the threads and you'll mangle everything up. So aluminum is real soft, so you don't want to do it dry. And any kind of lubricant, anything you have. There we are. I'm just going to use my block. All we're doing is just getting it straight. There we are. Nice and straight. Once you start it straight, it will stay straight. You can see all the threads are being really going where we want to be. Every couple of threads, back up and release the aluminum out of the threads. If you're going to go all the way down, it's going to load up all the aluminum on all the threads. So just back off a little bit and it breaks it loose. And then you can just keep going. Also, if you ever break a tap inside of a head, if you every couple of turns you backed off, you only have a turn that it's binded. If you go in all the way, and then you break it, you're done. You're done anyway. But if you go in there and then every couple of threads you break it loose and you're free, and then you go another turn and you break it loose and you're free, if you break a tap, which is going to happen to you, happens to everybody, you'll be able to get it out. You turn it just about half a turn, and it comes right out. So you don't have to go all the way in one turn.
You've broken a tap inside of a head before?
Before, yeah. Yes. Everybody's going to break a tap. Anybody says they never broken a tap is lying. You know, so I'm threading this one down because I went in a little bit further, and we're going to see if we can't get another 1 or 2 threads. That's where we're at. We got 1 or 2 threads out of it. Now, let's put this dude in. It's real simple. So here's the installation tool, and it's basically a bolt with the end of it cut into the slot. What that slot's going to do, here's our insert. The insert is big and it's loose. It doesn't fit in there because it's just a Heli-Coil. The same thing as this right here, but in the churn. So all we're going to do is put that spot right there. This installation tool just preloads it. It gets it already threading the right way. So it's just going in here. And as long as I'm turning it, it's nice and tight. Now if I release it, it gets real wide again. So I want to hold tension on it. And basically you're going to just thread it in there, and then once it's out the other side, we're done. So let's start all over again. There we are. Insert into the installer and get it just flush to the bottom of it, right there. All right. So there's the installer, thread just coming out, going right into the hole, and then we are going to just keep tension on it. I've got enough now that I can start seeing, you can see it has tension on it, and as soon as it releases the tension, we know we're there. Still has tension, we're just about there. All right.
Oh, you made it look so easy.
Now, I release this just so we can see what's going on. You can see how we're sticking up above there.
Yep.
But now we're gonna go in here. And then we're gonna just turn that dude and get it to go right underneath. Look at that. There we are. A properly installed Heli-Coil.
Oh, okay.
Put in another one here. You got to get the feel of the first one, and that's it. It's in.
Man, you make it look so easy.
We can pull that out of the way, and I can see what's going on. And bam. Look at that. That's another neat thing about Heli-Coils is that, we just fix that one and we save the head again. It ain't gonna pull out. And we're deep enough now. So all the performance heads will have Heli-Coils in them from the factory.
And now there's, oh really?
Mm-hmm. Like Brodex, Dart, AFR, all the threads on anything, a performance head has Heli-Coils from the factory. So people go, oh, Heli-Coils is not gonna, it's a stronger. And then you feel what I know what you're feeling, that little burr at the end of it.
Yep.
We're going to take a file and we're going to just lightly file that little burr from running a tap through it, and we just lightly file that and we're done. You see it's hitting.
Yep.
And that's where it pulled those threads out, and that's why we're doing a Heli-Coil. This isn't a wood file from Home Depot. It might be a machinist file from Home Depot, but it's not a wood file from Home Depot. So it's very smooth. If you feel it, it doesn't even, in fact, the older duller
Oh.
file is really, so I'm not really doing anything, but I am. So all I'm doing, I'm going at a 45. If I sit here and go like this, then I'm going to take a spot out lower. If you go to 45, you've shared the area, and I'm going 45 this way, and then I'm 45 and it across this way. So basically, we're not sitting here in one spot and just taking the whole thing down. Voila! How to put a Heli-Coil in.
Yeah, it's really hard doing anything with that turbo in the way.
Oh, it's such a handicap to have a turbo. I feel your pain.
Jeez.
This is an old oil pump, and I'm sure everybody, but let's cut that because we don't know if everybody has anything.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure also everyone has a local machine shop that could do it for them if they don't have a drill press.
And a lot of local machine shops will get it crooked for you. So
Oh.
do it yourself. No,
Do it yourself.
Okay, I'm not ready, so I'm gonna get a drill. If you're running a flathead Ford, you don't want to use a Heli-Coil because the water will go up the threads. So there's certain issues that, things that you don't want to use them for, but that's a flathead Ford. So I love flathead Ford, don't get me wrong, but one of the guys commented about the flathead Ford in the background. Yes, we do them all. So